Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. No one's awake. I'm gonna ruin Raj's sleeping schedule again. So let's get him on a call. Oh, you're already here. Sorry.
Fine, I'm there. I'm just,
Oh, there you are.
I'm sweaty.
Oh, is it warm?
Was where I was sleeping, apparently.
Apparently you're in the freaking hot zone.
Right, man.
There you are. In your greasy shirt.
Is it greasy? Yeah, I'm greasy.
He's sweating, no kidding.
I'm more ready than I look.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a kerchief on all the time. I'm all sweaty. Look at me, man.
Yeah, I know. When you said you sweated, you were not lying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Hold on. Let me put on a shirt that isn't full of sweat.
Okay.
Kind of cool in here now that I'm all sweaty.
Yeah, it's almost like that's how sweat works. That's it, the natural cooling down method of your body. All right, there you are.
Yes, I am. Okay. All right. I hear you about halfway.
Hear me about halfway. Well, I'm outputting both.
Okay.
All right.
How's my video? Is it?
It's good. It's good. You can do that if you want.
Better?
Yeah, for a more balanced backlight. Yeah.
All right, man. Ready, steady, go.
All right. Today on Before Coffee, we're not going away. Rishi Sunak arrives at the G7 announcing Russia sanctions.
Pentagon Leaks suspect was warned multiple times about mishandling of classified information.
Our vote counts. Greek politicians court teenagers in tight election race.
Hyundai and Kia agreed a $200 million settlement over TikTok car theft challenge.
Driver forces entry into Vatican Palace grounds by ramming gate.
And in serious business news, Taco Tuesday trademark tiff flares anew between fast food competitors. Today, on Friday, May 19th, 2023 edition of Before Coffee.
Oh, right.
I had no idea. Like May, March,
What
June,
day is it? Yeah, no idea. It's really April, funny to see you look it up
February.
every time.
God, it's May. Wow, I feel like life's flying by. It's May 19th already.
All right. My first news story. Rishi Sunak has warned Vladimir Putin that Western leaders are not going away as they gathered at the G7 summit in Japan with the Ukrainian president Volodymyr Zelensky preparing to fly in to meet them. At a tea house in Shukeien Garden in Hiroshima on Friday, the Prime Minister told Sky News, "Russia needs to know that we and other countries remain steadfast in our resolve to support Ukraine, not just in the here and now with the resources it needs to protect itself, but for the long term as well." He told ITV they can't just outlast us in this conflict. One of the common topics of conversation I'll be having and have been having with my fellow leaders is about the long-term security agreements that we put in place in Ukraine to deter future Russian aggression. He said that the message for the G7 leaders to Vladimir Putin was, "We're not going away." Zelensky is expected to arrive at the summit for an intensive round of diplomacy over the weekend, with Russia's war against Ukraine now in its second year. Sunak has said his main mission at the G7 is to shore up support for Kyiv, especially among countries maintaining a broad neutral stance, such as India, which is interesting, right? Because he's,
Indian. He's of Indian extraction.
Yeah, he's an Indian extraction. I don't know what you... The UK was joined ancestrally Indian.
He's a soul
Indian.
brother. Come on.
The UK was joined by the G7 nations, including US, in unveiling a swath of new sanctions against Russia. Flying into Hiroshima for the 3-day gathering of world leaders and became the first British Prime Minister to visit the city destroyed by a US atomic bomb in 1945. You always have to mention that when you talk about Hiroshima. Hashtag never forget. Sunak announced a UK ban on imports of Russian diamonds and Russian origin copper, nickel, and aluminum, with other G7 members expected to follow suit. Seeking to push his credentials on the global stage after bruising few weeks of domestic politics, Sunak also set out sanctions targeting another 86 individuals and firms linked to Putin, taking the total UK sanctions list to more than 1,500. Those newly sanctions are described as being from the Russian president's military-industrial complex, as well as some who are involved in key economic areas including energy, metals, and shipping. The US had also promised fresh sanctions aimed at disrupting Russia's abilities to get materials it needs for battlefield, closing loopholes used to evade sanctions, furthering reducing international reliance on Russian energy, and narrowing Moscow's access to international financial system, an official told the Reuters news agency. U.S. sanctions would cut off roughly 70 entities from Russia and other countries from receiving U.S. exports by adding them to the commerce blacklist. And there will be upwards of 300 new sanctions against individuals, entities, vessels, and aircraft, the official said. A key task for Sunak will be to put pressure on leaders who have remained more neutral over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, notably the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I've talked about this guy a million times, as his name still surprises me every time it comes up. Before landing in Hiroshima along with his wife, Akshata Murthy, her first attendance on an official number 10 trip, Sunak said he hoped to stress the extent of Russian war crimes to leaders from the non-G7 nations, including Modi and Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, the Brazilian president. Sunak and Modi will meet, but it's not yet confirmed that this will be a formal bilateral meeting. Given the UK imposed punishing tariffs of 35% on diamonds and metals from Russia last year, massively reducing trade, the outright ban could prove largely symbolic unless it takes place in conjunction with other countries. The EU has previously stopped short of banning diamonds owing to the importance of the sector in Antwerp in Belgium. It expected to instead call for better tracing technology for Russian diamonds, a commodity that earned Russia $4.5 billion in 2021. Iron, steel, gas, oil, and coal imports to the UK from Russia are already banned. As well as discussing Ukraine, the assembled world leaders, among them the US President Joe Biden, will hold talks on Indo-Pacific security in light of China's threat to Taiwan, as well as a nuclear disarmament, a key subject for Fumio Kishida, the Prime Minister of Japan, who is hosting the summit in the first city ever hit with an atomic bomb. Yes, let's just sign off that was a mistake, that we invented those, and just put them away forever. Sometimes we make mistakes, it's okay. So I'm gonna end there because I just keep talking about Sunak and how great he is, about his steadfast resistance of Russia, even though he's questionably anti-immigrant for a guy who is an immigrant, or is a descendant of immigrants. Sorry.
Oh, and we're going back to the invention of the wheel again.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So your next story.
In the beginning, there was fire. I got it.
In the beginning, there was fire.
Pentagon Leaks suspect was warned multiple times about mishandling classified information. This is from AP. Alana Durkin. Superiors at the Massachusetts Area National Guard member charged with leaking highly classified military documents had raised concerns internally on multiple occasions about his handling or viewing of classified information, according to a court filing Wednesday. Justice Department lawyers made the disclosure in a court, urging magistrate to keep Jack Teixeira behind bars while he awaits trial in case stemming from the most consequential intelligence leak in years. The judge is expected to hear more arguments Friday on prosecutor's detention request and issue a ruling. Teixeira is accused of sharing highly classified documents about national security issues in a chat room on Discord, a social media platform that started as a hangout for gamers. He has not yet entered a plea. Prosecutors told judge in their filing that Teixeira continued leaking documents even after he was admonished by superiors on 2 separate occasions last year over concerning actions he took related to classified information. A September memo from the Air National Guard 102nd Intelligence Wing that prosecutors filed in case court says Teixeira had been observed taking notes on classified intelligence information and putting notes in his pocket. Teixeira was instructed at the time no longer take notes in any form on classified intelligence information, the memo says. Another memo from late October says the Superior had been made aware that Teixeira was potentially ignoring the cease and desist order on diving into intelligence information given to him the month before. The memo says Teixeira attended a meeting and proceeded to ask very specific questions. He was told again to focus on his job, not any deep dives into classified intelligence information. Still, a third memo from February says Teixeira was again observed viewing information that was not related to his primary duty and was related to intelligence field. Teixeira had previously been notified to focus on his own career duties and did not seek out intelligence products. You please, this time we mean it, you dingleberry. Oh, sorry, that was me. The defendant even continued to share information with his online associates, defying these admonishments and taking further efforts to conceal his unlawful conduct. Revelations have raised concern as why military officials did not take further action, why Teixeira continued to have access to classified information after his superiors raised concern. Very good question. That's why I inserted sarcasm. Pentagon spokesman Sabrina Singh was questioned on Thursday about why Teixeira's leaders did not take any action they did take some action. They wrote memos after the concerns were raised. Singh referred to the Justice Department, Air Force investigations, and said those concerns and potential lack of a response to them was one of the areas the inquiries would examine. Lawyers for Teixeira, who was arrested last month seems like a year ago, on charges under Espionage Act, are urging the judge to release Teixeira to his father's home, noting that the man didn't flee when media outlets began publishing his name shortly before April 13th. Of course not. He had classified material to rush out there after he got his name announced. He had things to burn. Of course he didn't leave. Good Lord. What a defense. Well, he didn't flee the first time. He didn't know all the evidence, probably. In his own court filing Wednesday, Teixeira's lawyers had noted that there are many Espionage Act cases which courts have approved release, or the government did not seek to keep the person behind bars pre-trial. They have also said there is no allegation that Teixeira ever intended for the documents to be distributed widely. But prosecutors said their filing Wednesday that one of the servers on the social media platform he posted classified information who had at least 150 users at the time, and the information was shared, and now many more users that are actively seeking access to this information. Among the individuals with whom the defendant shared the government information are a number of individuals who represented that they resided in other countries and are logged in a social media platform using foreign IP addresses, prosecutors wrote. In messages, Teixeira bragged about scope of information he had access to, writing, "The information I give here is less than half of what's available," prosecutors said. He also acknowledged that he wasn't supposed to be sharing this information, prosecutors said, writing in another message, "All of this shit I told you guys I'm not supposed to," according to the Justice Department filing, which makes Mr. Dingleberry guilty of knowing that he's committing a crime. Magistrate Judge David Hennessy heard arguments from the lawyer over detention late last month, but he has yet to issue a ruling scheduled on a second hearing on the matter Friday. In earlier court records, prosecutors revealed that Teixeira kept an arsenal of weapons before his arrest and had a history of violent and disturbing remarks. Well, yeah, let's let him free. The leaked documents appear to detail U.S. and NATO and Ukraine and U.S. intelligence assessments regarding U.S. allies that could strain ties to these nations. Some show real-life details from February and March of Ukraine's and Russia's battlefield positions and precise numbers of battlefield gear loss and newly flowing info into Ukraine from its allies. And, of course, you know how we catch people who leak secrets. We leak things that aren't secrets, and we let them leak it.
And then they go, "Wow, I can't believe they're
where that came from." We know exactly where that secret came from. Let's go.
The U.S. is building a moon base. Wow.
And they're like, "Oh wow, that leak got up pretty fast, didn't it?" All right, your turn.
Okay. Let's talk about Greece and their voting. Teenagers are not letting their pivotal role in the country go to waste on polls on Sunday. This is from Helena Smith in Athens. Greek politicians are courting an estimated 430,000 Generation Z voters, some as young as 16. I believe that's Generation Alpha now, by the way. I think Gen Z ends, I don't know, way sooner than that, but as the country braces for a general election, taking to TikTok and YouTube to woo what could be a key demographic. Smile across Stefanos to see Andis's face when talk turns to a poll that has been as low-key as it is unpredictable. As a first-time voter, the 19-year-old knows exactly which party he'll be rooting for when he casts his ballot on Sunday. But that, he adds, is rare. Our vote counts, and mine will go to PASOK, says the economics student, proudly posing with the flag of the center-left party he has just waved vigorously at a campaign rally beneath the Acropolis. It's disgusting how they are making all these promises to win our support. It says so much about our political system. It's really exciting. Maybe a lot are undecided, but you can be sure they won't be backing the center-right government. For the first time in years, Sunday's election will be held under a system of proportional representation, making it nigh impossible for any party to garner the majority in Athens' 300-seat parliament necessary to win outright. With an inconclusive result likely, a follow-up poll in early July conducted under an electoral system that would distribute bonus seats to the winner is seen as inevitable. But less than 3 months after the 57 people died in central Greece after a head-on collision between a freight train and a passenger train that many believe could have been avoided, the race in which Kyriakos Mitsotakis' center-right government is defending its majority is tighter than expected. And the surveys estimating as many as 13% of the 8.5 million strong electorate is still undecided, every vote counts. Wait, so you're telling me that the freight train disaster, which was awful, somehow affected the political standing of the current government?
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting.
Trains run on time, the trash gets picked up, that's all people care about.
That's true. Because the train was full of students returning from vacation, here's an explanation. The accident unleashed a huge emotional reaction among the segment of the population, said the veteran politician and commentator Pavlos Tzimamos of the mass protests that followed the disaster, and women and young Greeks account for a sizable portion of the undecided bloc. In the more than 40 years since Tzimamos began observing general elections in Greece, the run-up to Sunday's poll marked the first time, he said, that political party leaders had sought to appear on lifestyle TV chat shows that were popular with both demographics. The vote could make a difference, and politicians are nervous about what they will do. We've seen them vying with each other to get interviews on shows that they might ordinarily never appear on. They want the women voters and the teenage voters, I see. New Democracy, Mitsotakis' party, has led the polls despite its 6-point edge over Syriza, the leftist main opposition party, being dented by a wiretapping scandal and the February rail crash, a tragedy that took a wrecking ball to the government's reformist narrative. Forced on the defensive, the 55-year-old was compelled to delay the election after acknowledging that the accident could have been prevented if proper safety measures had been enforced. Only 3 EU countries allow people under 18 to vote. In Greece, 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds who turned 17 in the election year were enfranchised under legislation passed by Alakis Tispiras, the Syriza leader catapulted into office on the radical agenda in 2015. Tispiras, like Mitsotakis, has also taken to TikTok and YouTube to woo first-time voters, while the government has pledged to hand out €150 youth pass, announcing the coming of age benefit barely 2 weeks before the poll. Syriza sought to entice the younger generation by promising to scrap tough university entry requirements, low interest rate loans for home purchases for 18 and 39-year-olds have also been announced. Mitsotakis has sought to emphasize the economic headway that Greece has made under his stewardship since the height of its debt crisis and near ejection from the Eurozone. In a campaign that has projected its party as the only stable option in an increasingly uncertain world, the country's spectacular return to growth, backed by falling joblessness, a rebound in tourism, foreign investment, and digitization of public sector have all been highlighted. I've always believed that 2 4-year terms are required for someone to change Greece, he said last month. admitting that mistakes had been made since his assuming office in July 2019. Spiros, 48, has by contrast highlighted that the nation's Democratic backside under Mitsotakis, calling the wiretapping scandal that included security services eavesdropping on PASOK's leader, Nikos Androulakis, a disgrace. Spiros has vowed to combat inflation, blaming the cost of living crisis on vested interests, and improve the wages of the public sector and health workers. Greece has Bulgarian wages and British prices, he said last week. That's a terrible combo. Androulakis, who emerged as kingmaker, has refused to back either Mitsotakis or Spiros in a coalition government, but few pledges appear to light the fire of younger Greeks. With youth unemployment nudging 25%, many see that if they can, they will join the 500,000 who fled overseas during the debt crisis. In a campaign that has been noticeably bereft of debate about the future, despite Greece's aging population, pollsters believe it will be a miracle if the vast majority of newly enfranchised Greek vote at all. We're the lost generation, said Maria Sandis at 22, Stefanos' elder sister. First there was the crisis, then the pandemic, so much lost time and dreams that no government can make up for. Oh, that makes me depressed. What a terrible line to end. The lost generation. Yeah, not Generation Alpha, the lost generation. That's what they're going to call it.
Well, at least they're interested in politics.
Yeah, that's positive for sure.
They're not just sitting around going, well, let's all jump off a bridge. Life is hopeless. Okay, my turn.
Yes, it is.
Go Greece, man. We got Greece elections where we can't pronounce names. Then we got Turkey elections where we can't pronounce names. Don't forget, they're having a runoff in Turkey. Hyundai Korea, well, it is Korea. Kia agreed to $200 million settlement over U.S. car thefts. This is from Reuters. I guess I'll figure out the writer's name later. Hyundai Motor and Kia Corp agreed to a consumer class action lawsuit settlement worth $200 million over rampant car thefts of Korean automakers' vehicles. Lawyers for the owners of the automakers said on Thursday. In February, the Korean automakers said they would offer software upgrades to 8.3 million U.S. vehicles without anti-theft immobilizers to help curb increasing car thefts using a method popularized on TikTok and other social media challenges. The settlement covers about 9 million U.S. owners and includes up to 145 million out-of-pocket losses for consumers who had cars stolen, lawyers for the owners said. Kia and Hyundai said they will compensate owners who incurred theft-related vehicle losses or damage, in addition to reimbursement for insurance deductibles, increased insurance premiums, and other theft losses. TikTok videos showing how to steal cars without push-button ignitions and immobilize the anti-theft devices had led to at least 14 reported crashes and 8 fatalities in the United States, regulators said on February. Hyundai and Kia settled the compensate. Okay, for customers whose vehicles cannot accommodate security software upgrades, the Korean automaker will provide $300 for the purchase of steering wheel locks and other theft deterrent prevention devices. The settlement will provide benefits as soon as possible to those who have suffered out-of-pocket losses. The consumer settlement covers owners of the 2011 and the 2022 model year Hyundai and Kia vehicles with traditional insert-and-turn steel key ignition system. It includes payments for a total loss of vehicles up to $6,125, damage to vehicle and personal property up to $3,375, and insurance-related expenses. Other related expenses, including car rental, taxi, or other transportation costs not covered by insurance, are also included in the settlement. Owners can get reimbursed for towing costs of stolen vehicles that suffered crashes or were never recovered, as well as payments for tickets and other penalties or fines incurred arising from the stolen vehicle. Many major cities have sued the automakers over the thefts, including St. Louis, Missouri, Cleveland, Ohio, San Diego, California, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Columbus, Ohio, Baltimore, and Seattle. So yes, your mother owns a Kia, so...
Oh, does she?
Nobody's stolen it yet. Yet! Your story.
Sometimes that's the negative part of the widespread of information. You can also teach people how to steal cars. Or
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, I saw a TikTok of people making cocaine. So
well, it's actually
you can
a
learn
really
a lot
simple.
of things.
There's a really simple solution to the problem. They could have just fixed it in a factory, but that's why they're paying the settlement. Because other car companies can do it. Why can't they, right? Go on.
All
Your
right.
story.
In my next news story, the Vatican gets attacked by a driver forcing entry into the palace. A car driven by a man apparently suffering from psychiatric problems has rammed through a Vatican gate, speeding past Swiss guards into a palace courtyard before the driver was apprehended by police. Vatican gendarmes fired a shot at the speeding car's front tires after it brushed the gate on Thursday night, but the vehicle managed to continue on its way, the Vatican press office said. Once the car reached San Damaso's court of Apostolic Palace, the driver got out and was immediately arrested by Vatican gendarmes. Gendarmes? The Vatican said that the driver was about 40 years old and was in serious state of psychophysical alteration. He was being held in the Vatican's barracks. It was not clear whether Pope Francis was anywhere near the incident, which occurred at after 8 p.m. at the Santa Ana Gate, one of the main entrances to the Vatican city-state in the heart of Rome. The people's lives on the other side of Vatican City in Santa Marta Hotel, where at that hour he would normally be having dinner and retiring to his room. The Vatican statement said that as soon as the gendarmes sounded the alarm for an incursion, the main gate blocking access to the piazza in front of Francis's hotel was shut. The incident was a rare incursion into the city-state, much of which is off limits to the general public, especially at night. While visitors can access St. Peter's Basilica and the Vatican's museums during business hours, and people with doctor's prescriptions can go to the Vatican pharmacy, permission is required to enter the other buildings in the enclave. The Apostolic Palace, that's what I'm gonna call it, which houses the papal apartments, key reception rooms, the Vatican's archives and offices, is guarded around the clock by Swiss guards and gendarmes who staff various checkpoints. It was not the first time that someone with apparent psychiatric problems has caused a disturbance at the Vatican. During a 2009 Christmas Eve Mass, a woman jumped the barricade of St. Peter's Basilica and tried to attack the Pope Benedict. He was not harmed, though a cardinal walking in the procession broke his hip in the ruckus. After what we found out about Pope Benedict, though, he probably deserved to get attacked. Don't know if you know anything about that.
Don't say that, man. That's not nice.
He was
nobody deserves to be attacked. Okay.
He was totally let people be pedophiles. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, he isn't the first. Like I'm saying, you want to list popes doing shit wrong. He's very at the bottom of the list.
Okay.
Taco Tuesday. Oh,
hey.
Sorry.
It's Friday though.
Ready for food news?
Sure.
Okay. This is AP in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Apparently, it's where this lawsuit is taking place. Maybe not. Declaring a mission to liberate Taco Tuesday for all, Taco Bell is asking U.S. regulators to force Wyoming-based Taco John to abandon its long-standing claim to the trademark. Too many businesses and others refer to Taco Tuesday for Taco John to be able to have exclusive rights to the phrase. Taco Bell asserts in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office filing that is of course dated Tuesday. It is the latest development in a long-running beef over Taco Tuesday that even included NBA star LeBron James making an unsuccessful attempt to claim the trademark in 2019. He thinks he invented Taco Tuesday. That's funny. He wasn't even born when Taco Tuesday was originated. LeBron James. He was not born yet, even though you think you're an old man now. Taco Bell believes Taco Tuesday is critical to everyone's Tuesday. Did it bribe anyone to saying Taco Tuesday, be it Taco Bell or anyone else who provides tacos to the world? It's like the pride and world of sunshine itself. Taco Bell filing reads, oh yeah, it's just like sunshine. I always get them too confused. Taco Tuesday, sunshine. You know, a key question is whether Taco Tuesday over the years has succumbed to generous side, New York trademark law attorney Emily Puller said. That's a term for when a word or phrase becomes so widely used for similar products or in this case, sales promotion, they are no longer associated with the trademark holder. One examples of genocide victims include cellophane, escalator, and trampoline, and frisbee, and several things like that. Basically, what this is about is you cannot trademark something that is generic, Polar said. This means it doesn't have any association with a particular source or product. James, a well-known taco lover, encountered this problem when he tried to trademark Taco Tuesday in 2019. The Patent and Trademark Office in a ruling that didn't refer to Taco John's deemed Taco Tuesday too much of a commonplace term to qualify as a trademark. With more than 7,200 locations in the U.S. and internationally, Taco Bell, a Yum Brands chain along with Pizza Hut, KFC, and the Habit Burger Grill, is vastly bigger than the Cheyenne-based Taco John's, begun as a food truck more than 50 years ago. Taco John has now about 370 locations in 23 mainly Midwestern and Western states. The chain's relatively in small size hasn't discouraged big-time enforcement of Taco Tuesday's trademark, which dates to the 1980s. In 2019, the company sent a letter to a brewery just 5 blocks from its corporate headquarters, warning to stop using Taco Tuesday to promote a taco truck parked outside on Tuesdays. Actively defending a trademark is required to maintain the claimant, and a letter was just one example of Taco John telling restaurants far and wide to stop having Taco Tuesdays. Taco John responded to Taco Bell's filing by announcing on 2-week Taco Tuesday promotion with a large side of riposte. Riposte? I don't know. Do you know what that is?
Riposte?
No word.
Riposte.
I eat a lot of Mexican food and never saw that word before in my life. R-I-P-O-S-T-E. No idea.
R-I-P-A.
R-I-P-O. Repost. I don't know. I'd like to thank our worthy competitors at Taco Bell for reminding everyone that Taco Tuesday is best celebrated at Taco John's. CEO Jim Creel said in the email statement, "We love celebrating Taco Tuesday with taco lovers everywhere, and we even want to offer a special invitation to fans of Taco Bell to liberate themselves by coming to see how flavorful and bold tacos can be at Taco John's all month long." The filing is one of 2 from Taco Bell involving Taco Tuesday. One contests Taco John's claim to Taco Tuesday in 49 states, while a similar filing contests a New York, Jersey restaurant and a bar's claim to Taco Tuesday in that state. Both Taco John's and Gregory's Restaurant and Bar in Somers Point, New Jersey, have been using Taco Tuesday for over 40 years. Taco John's franchise in Minnesota came up with a Taco Tuesday, TWO, to promote 2 tacos for 99 cents in a slow day of the week. Creel told Associated Press in an interview Tuesday, the Patent and Trademark Office approved the Taco John's Taco Tuesday trademark in 1989. Even with its many letters, Creel said the company has never had to go to court over the phrase. He's not feeling too picked on either by much bigger Taco Bell. It's okay. It's kind of nice that they noticed. And there's your news and stuff that resembles food in America. Your story.
Hey, I miss cheap Mexican food, let me tell you.
I ate a Taco Bell last night.
Yeah.
I ate there last night. I got a quesadilla in the fridge. They make quesadillas really good. I mean, you can't go wrong, really. At least you fry it wrong or something.
Yeah, it's like if you mess up a quesadilla, you need to get a lot of other things checked out. That's like it's cheese and tortilla. What are you doing? I'm gonna go
look up. I have to go look up repost or whatever that word was. I've never heard of that word.
Yeah, go ahead.
You worked at Chipotle. You worked at Chipotle.
Yeah, I know.
Repost. You ever read that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say, so I don't know.
I spelled it. Go ahead.
In culture news, Jane Fonda is revealing that late director Renee Clement asked to sleep with her during the making of their 1964 thriller Joy House, saying he said he needed to see what my organs were like from the inside for a role before she filmed the sex scene. Why is that necessary? You're not filming her freaking uterus. Fonda made the allegations on an episode of a chat show, Watch What Happens Live, when host Andy Cohen asked her to name one man in Hollywood that tried to pick you up once that you turned down. He wanted to go to bed with me. He said that the character had to have an orgasm in the movie and he needed to see what my orgasms are like. He said it in French and I pretended I didn't understand, Fonda said. I have stories for you, kid, but we don't have time, she added. Fonda was 27 years old when she starred in the film opposite Alain Delon and Lola Albright. Clement, one of France's most prolific filmmakers in the 1950s and 1960s, was 51 at the time of the film's release. He died in 1996 at the age of 82. When asked who the biggest misogynist in Hollywood was, Fonda replied, I plead the fifth. Fonda's comments come during a period of intense scrutiny on the French film industry during the Cannes Film Festival, with some women alleging that the industry continues to perpetuate misogyny and sexual abuse when the Me Too movement forced a reckoning in other countries. Johnny Depp film Jean de Barry was selected as the opening picture of this year's festival after an ugly legal battle with his ex-wife Amber Heard, while supporters of Depp, who denies Heard's allegation of abuse, have celebrated the return of the actor. Critics have accused Cannes of effectively handing a free pass to an alleged domestic abuser. Journalist Eve Barlow, reportedly a friend of Heard, launched a social media campaign, Cannes You Not, which charges the event with supporting abusers and posted pictures of Depp alongside images of Harvey Weinstein and Roman Polanski, both regular Cannes fixtures in previous years. Earlier this month, Portrait of a Lady on Fire actor Adele Haenel published an open letter announcing she was leaving the film business, slamming Cannes for being ready to do anything to defend their rapists and chiefs. In the letter she cited, among others, Polanski, who was convicted of statutory rape of a 13-year-old girl in 1977, and actor Gerard Depardieu, who has been accused of sexually inappropriate behavior by 13 women. Depardieu's lawyers have denied any criminal behavior. Haenel previously accused French director Christophe Rougier of sexually assaulting her when she was 12. Rougier, who denies the accusation, has been formally put under investigation for the sexual aggression of a minor. Cannes' boss, Thierry Firmau, rejected Haenel's claim, telling media she didn't think that when she came to Cannes unless she suffered from a crazy dissonance. But if you thought that it's a festival for rapists, you wouldn't be here listening to me. You would be complaining that you can't get tickets to get into screenings. So, I mean, French people...
Do they pronounce it Cannes or Canes? Because I've heard Cannes.
I don't know. I said Cannes because that's what people say in English, so... But, yeah, French people have always had that, allure of sexual, energy or whatever. So, It's not really surprised that some of them take it a little too far because they think there's some sort of god, sex god. I mean, let's be honest, a lot of
I am French, I am a lover.
Yeah, the famous French cliche is that they're all, like, so sexy because of their accent. So, of course, a lot of them get it in their head that they actually are sex gods and start insulting people. So, I'm not surprised that's happened. Hashtag men, what can you do?
That's it. All right, let's pile on the French. Pile on.
Let's go to
We love you, French. And if you speak English at all, we love you, French.
Let's go into this day in history.
This day in history, in 1536, Anne Boleyn lost her head, literally. King Henry VIII decided that she was guilty of adultery, and they had some mock trial, and she was beheaded. 1571, Spanish explorer Miguel López de Legazpi established the city of Manila in the Philippines. 1643, during the 30 Years' War, led by Louis II, the Bourbon defeated the Spanish in the Battle of Rocroi, ending Spain's military ascendancy in Europe. 1802, Napoleon created the Legion of Honor, premier order of the French Republic. In 1845, English explorer John Franklin's ill-fated expedition to find the Northwest Passage began as the Erebus and the Terror set sail from London. Both ships later became trapped in ice, and Franklin and his crew perished. 1890, Ho Chi Minh, founder of the Indochina Communist Party and its successor, the Viet Minh, was born in Quang Tri, Vietnam. 1930 playwright Lorraine Hansberry, whose Raisin in the Sun was the first drama by an African-American woman to be produced on Broadway, was born in Chicago. 1935, British archaeological scholar, military strategist, and author T.E. Lawrence died at the age of 46. He's immortalized in the movie Lawrence of Arabia. He died at the age of 46 following a motorcycle accident, 1935. In 1994, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis died at the age of 64. Did not live a long time. 2018, Prince Harry married the American actress Meghan Markle at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle.
Really? Oh.
Windsor Castle. The ceremony, unlike many previous royal weddings, mixed pomp and circumstance of the African American culture, though later a celebration of the bride's biracial background. And in, I guess, the big news, in 1884, the Ringling Brothers opened a small circus in Baraboo, Wisconsin, on this day in 1884, and by the earliest 20th century had transformed into the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, the leading American circus. So, happy birthday to 1984 to the Ringling Brothers. Also, the birthday of Malcolm X. Malcolm X, born this day in 1925, so he would be 98. 1992, Sam Smith, British singer-songwriter, was born. 1976, Kevin Garnett, American basketball player, was born. 1928, Dolph Shays, American basketball coach, was born. Well, basketball
He's probably
player,
dead
coach.
now, right? 1928.
28, yeah. He was out. And Pol Pot was born this day in 1925, Cambodian political leader and leader of the Khmer Rouge, which slaughtered 1 million people. And what day is it today besides Khmer Rouge birthday, which is horrible? National Pizza Party Day.
Yeah, we can have a pizza party.
Man, you broke your camera or your microphone. You're so excited.
Did I?
You must have that over-modulation clipping going because you went silent on me. And it's National May Ray Day. May Ray is this May, and there's Ray in the sky, you know, rays.
May Ray.
National Defense Transportation Day. National Defense Transportation Day. Okay.
Like a tank?
Got it.
Like, what is that?
I guess. Or a jet, a ship, anything, you know. Anything that's wheels on it.
Anything that's defensive.
National Devil's Food Cake Day. So slam a bunch of pizza in your face.
And then
eat
have
a lot
a
of
devil's food cake.
Devil's Food Cake. It's NASCAR Day. Third Friday in May. It's NASCAR Day. It's Malcolm X Day because it's his birthday. National Endangered Species Day. Okay, do not eat an endangered species while you're eating that cake and that pizza. National Bike to Work Day.
Well, that's every day in the Netherlands.
Well, in America, it's the third Friday in May. And those are all the days we're talking about.
All right, that's been Allison here from Europe. Excited about the Greek elections and young people voting. And of course, banning more Russians from doing anything ever. We'll see you next week for some more exciting developments in the European political system, I guess.
In America, this is Roger, where we're going to be sending Kias and Hyundais over to Russia so where they get stolen. And it's not Taco Tuesday, but it's, what is it? It's Quesadilla Friday, which is totally...
Wait, there's like a lot of foods that start with F that you could have used there.
But I don't have them in my fridge. It's effing Quesadilla Friday. How's that?
Okay.
On May 19th, 2023, edition of Before Coffee. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.